From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, October 4th, 2021. Start off looking at the advisories in effect across the region this morning. We've got air quality advisories in effect kind of along the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border up through northern Manitoba. That's due to wildfire smoke from fires north of the Hudson Bay being caught up. An area of low pressure that's traveling across the region right now. As we look at the last 7 days, though, dry conditions across the prairie, mild and dry across the region, and that pattern is going to be coming to a slow close as we head through the rest of this coming week into next week. We'll look at the satellite picture here, visible satellite, as we start off on Monday morning. The sun coming up here from east to west. As we look at the prairie provinces, we've got clear skies in the east, much of Manitoba. Big chunk of Saskatchewan waking up to sunny skies here on Monday morning, but some high-level clouds from an approaching area of low pressure beginning to stream in across portions of central and southern Alberta. No precipitation. We are dry across the prairie here this morning, and we'll continue to be dry for much of the first half of this week. We'll look at the NAM model here, taking it through Thursday afternoon. We'll bring it on back here to Monday. Again, those high-level clouds in the west across portions of Alberta. That'll be the theme tomorrow, too. Most areas dry. Cloudier in the west, a little more sunshine as you make your way across Saskatchewan and Manitoba. A few snowflakes possible as you head well into northern Alberta tomorrow. And then we'll take it into Wednesday morning here. Clouds starting to increase. This is when we'll start to see an uptick in precipitation chances, first in the west, central, southern Alberta. Maybe seeing some showers, perhaps a few snowflakes again in the north as we get into the last half of the day on Wednesday. And then we'll take it all the way through Wednesday night. And then here into Thursday, you can kind of see your storm system doing something like this. We'll put the area of low pressure off to the north. You got your cold front extending off to the south, and then showers developing along and ahead of that. Again, this would be midday on noon, would be seeing something like this. So total precipitation between now, Monday morning, and midday on Thursday, you start to see the precipitation emerging in the west, continuing to be mild and dry from Saskatchewan on into Manitoba. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then into Thursday. But side by side, NAM on the left, European on the right, similar story, good agreement here. Most areas going to be dry as we talk about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the first half of Thursday. Peace River to Edmonton, northern Alberta, you got the best chance of seeing some of those showers here Wednesday into Thursday. Probably going to be on the dry side just about everywhere else. Maybe seeing some of those showers here Wednesday night into Thursday, starting to move into portions of southern Alberta and southwestern Saskatchewan. But by and large, a dry first half of the week. Now, we look at the next 10 days, and we've got some storm systems to talk about. You see a big corridor of heavier rain through southeastern Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba. You got additional heavy rainfall and precipitation falling across portions of central and northern Alberta. So what's going on? We look at the next 5 days on top and then days 5 to 10 on the bottom. You can see a lot of this activity concentrated in the days 5 to 10 time frame. That would be this weekend into early next week. So low confidence in the exact placement of some of these, heavier corridors, but we are, gaining confidence in this pattern transition actually happening. And here's what's going on. We've got this big ridge that's kind of been anchored in here over the last couple of weeks, and we're finally seeing troughing in the west beginning to kind of nudge up against that and push it out of the way. We had that first trough that tried to do so over the last week or so. We saw that one get kind of pushed off to the south. It was not able to impede on the ridge of high pressure, but we'll see that change start to happen as we head through the week, this week, the last half of this week, into the weekend. And this is an animation of what we've got going on. There's the big trough that comes diving in over the weekend into early next week. So taking it through Monday into Tuesday, we still see the ridge holding on pretty well, especially in the east. We're going to, again, keep dry, mild conditions going through Wednesday, and then we'll start to see that begin to fade from west to east Thursday into the weekend. So the first little system here brings that chance for rain in the west as we get through Wednesday into Thursday. It's another wave that comes whipping around the base of the trough here as we get into the weekend that really is the catalyst for the big change. This is now as we get into Sunday. So we'll be talking about this change for several days before it actually gets here. We start to see this first big trough break the ridge down, and then we see a series of troughs come in here around the base of that. So how all of these actually play and interact together is going to have a big impact on where the corridors of precipitation actually end up, falling. But we can see an early look at what the pattern could look like here with the European model. We'll take this out to the next 10 days, understanding that that day's 5 to 10 time frame is going to shift around just a little bit, again, with the specifics on the individual storm systems. Taking it through a dry start to the week, though. Monday night, Tuesday morning. This is now Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, heading into Wednesday. Remember, Wednesday into Thursday, we see the first system really lifts north of much of the prairie. We see it impact Alberta and then kind of take a northerly trajectory around that ridge. So Saskatchewan, Manitoba, you keep it dry here. This is now Wednesday night into Thursday. And then this is when we start to see some of the bigger change. That first wave lifts well north. We see a cold front kind of stretching back here. And then we get the parade of disturbances coming in over the weekend into early next week. So really, look at this. It's continuing to be pretty dry. You're seeing some showers here in Manitoba lingering into Friday from that first front. But then this is where the low confidence comes in. This is where we start to see some of the soaking rains being advertised here, with multiple areas of low pressure swinging through portions of Manitoba, southeastern Saskatchewan. But we've got several areas of low pressure trying to kind of, almost rotate around each other here. And it's going to take a few days to get the specifics sorted out with how this is all going to work out. But, already as we look at the next 10 days, pretty good agreement between the European on the left, the GFS on the right, both of which have this soaking corridor that comes through southeastern Saskatchewan into southern and central Manitoba. Meanwhile, back off to the west, we're a little bit drier. Not completely dry, but, right now, an early look, maybe favoring the east for the heavier precipitation as we look at the next 10 days. Now, our temperatures, as we head through the next 10 days, you're going to start to see that cooler air off to the west beginning to slowly make its way in here again as we get later into the week, into the weekend, with mild conditions, holding on a little bit better here as we talk about southeastern Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba. We'll look at the next the next 10 days from some of our high and low temperatures here from some of our select cities. There we go. That's a tricky sentence, apparently. Your highs in Calgary bouncing between the mid-teens and the lower 20s over the next couple of days before we get that shot of cooler air during the last part of the week. Edmonton, you cool off here late over the back half of the weekend into early next week. Saskatoon, there it is. Again, warming up to 27. That ridge holding on through midweek. Cooler as we get to the last half of the week. A very similar look in Regina. And then in Winnipeg, like I said, in the east, that warmth maybe holding on a little bit longer. Those 20s linger through Friday, dropping down into the teens as we get into the weekend and early next week. Have a wonderful Monday and a great start to your week.